Hello again friends, welcome to a new episode. I'm Alex. I'm gonna be your host again today for a new guide on how to spot different tells when it comes to genuine and fake watches. Right here today we're gonna take a look at the Rolex GMT-Master II, more specific 116710LN reference number. We're gonna show you the main differences between the genuine item and the replica item. For the beginning, I'm gonna dare you to a challenge. Right here we have both the genuine item and the replica item. The genuine costs about 15k, while the replica item costs 500 euros. And keep in mind that it's a top quality replica. I'm gonna dare you to leave us a comment which of the two watches, the one on the left or the one on the right, is the genuine item. Afterwards, take a look at the pinned comment to see if you were right or not. Don't cheat. We're gonna cover in this guide 11 steps. To give you a quick rundown on those steps, we will first discuss about the watch hand stack and how the hands on the watch are stacked in the GMT-Master II. For the second step, we're gonna take a look at the movement of the watch. For the third step, we're gonna rotate the bezel in both ways, as the bezel on the GMT-Master II goes clockwise as well as counterclockwise. For the fourth step, we're going to check the solid end links on the Rolex GMT-Master II and see how those link to the watch's lugs. For the fifth step, we're going to inspect the engravings on the bezel of the Rolex GMT-Master II watch. We're going to take a look at the replica and see the lower quality engravings present on its bezel. For the sixth step, we're going to verify the color of the GMT hand, and also we're going to take a look at text printed on the dial. For the seventh step, we're going to analyze the Cyclops lens on both the genuine item and the fake one. For the eighth step, we're going to inspect the shape of the bezel's teeth on the Rolex GMT-Master II watch, and you're going to see the differences between the authentic item and the replica. For the ninth step, you're going to take a look at the font on the date wheel and see the differences between the genuine item and the fake item. 10th step, we're going to take a look at the Rolex crown logo, which is present on the clasp of your watch. And for the 11th step and the last one, we're going to examine the engravings on the clasp of your Rolex GMT-Master II. So for the first step on our guide, I'm going to ask you to take a look at how the hands are stacked on the watch. This means the order of the hands from the dial of the watch. On the GMT-Master II, the hour hand always has to be first. Some replica items also have the hour hand first, but some others don't have it and actually have the GMT hand first. Keep in mind, on the genuine item you will always see the hour hand first one, so the closest one to the dial. If you can see the GMT hand next to the dial and afterwards above it you can see the hour hand, that means that you're holding a replica in your hands. So take a close look at this tell. For the second step, we're going to take a look at the movement, and you need to really check how the movement of the watch goes by. This means the second marker and the way it clicks. Of course, it's very easy to spot it if you have both watches one next to another. If not, please take a look at the video below and you can definitely see how the movement has to go and how it doesn't have to go on the replica watch. For the first step, we're going to rotate the bezel, and on the genuine item you will always be able to smoothly rotate it in both ways, clockwise or counterclockwise. It will click in a very nice and elegant manner with a nice sound, and it will be very easy for you to rotate it using your hands. On the replica item, some of the times the clicks will be harsher, it will be a bit more tough to rotate the bezel and it won't feel that smooth. I think you can even hear it in this video. It clicks, the click is a bit more noisy, so it's not that smooth, and I can definitely feel it in my hand. So take a look at how the bezel rotates on the watch as well. Step number 4, I'm gonna ask you to take a look at the solid end links. Those end links that connect the bracelet with the watch between the two lugs at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. You don't have to see any gaps, so no light will pass through any gaps between the watch's lugs and the solid end links. This is a flow which is very common on the replica items. So as you can see here, the watch in my hand, on its left side, both at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, you can definitely see how a little, very little and very small gap is available there, and light can pass through it. So on the genuine item, keep in mind that those gaps are not allowed and you won't find them present there. For the fifth step, I'm going to ask you to inspect the engravings on your bezel. So the rotatable bezel has those numbers engraved on it with a specific silver color. On the replica items, most of the times you will see a color more closer to white. Furthermore, the engravings are not that solid, they are not very steep and not deep enough. If you have them one next to another, it's pretty easy to tell the difference. However, if you don't, you can take a look at the image and see for yourself. So again, the engravings have to be high quality and very consistent throughout the entire bezel. Very equal. Another tell for our guide with differences is tell number 6, where I will ask you to take a look at the GMT hand, its color, and also the other text on the dial. Again, you will see differences on the color, meaning that the replica items usually don't get spot on with the color of the GMT hand. They usually, from what we noticed, they have a lighter shade of green present on the GMT hand. The same thing happens with model name GMT-Master II that is present on the dial. So take a close look at this and see how you need to have it on the genuine item. Furthermore, keep an eye and a closer look on all the text printed on the dial, and if you see any inconsistency, it might be the case that you're holding a replica item on your hands, unfortunately. Another tell that we previously discussed on our Rolex guides is about the Cyclops lens, and we're gonna have this tell number 7 in the guide we are presenting today. Take a close look at the Cyclops lens, the magnifying lens above your date window. On the genuine item, this lens will always perfectly magnify and totally assist you in reading the number in the date window or the numbers in the date window. On the replica items, most of the times you will see that it doesn't perfectly magnify. It either magnifies too closely or too far, while at the same time you won't see the anti-reflective coating available on the replica item, which is always available on the genuine item. So on the genuine item, whenever you're trying to read the date, no matter how many sources of light you have around you, you will always be able to easily read the date. On the replica items, some of the light might stay there, stuck above the date window, and you won't be able to easily read the date because of different shades of light. For the 8th step, we're going to inspect the shape of the bezel's teeth. This teeth on the outer edge of the dial of the bezel. If you take a close look, and we're going to show you in the image below, you can see the differences when it comes to those teeth. You need to take a close look at these teeth as well in order to easily spot the differences. Those have to be very consistent and smooth. They are perfectly engraved using laser technology on the genuine item, while on the replica item, in most of the cases, you will notice different inconsistencies. For the 9th step, we're going to take a look again at the date window. This time we're going to take a look at the font present in the date wheel. You're going to notice that on the replica items, most of the times on the GMT-Master II, you will see a much thinner font. In some cases, you can also see a thicker font, while on the genuine item, the font is perfect, very consistent. If you try to manually change the date to some different dates, some different numbers, you're going to see that those numbers are always consistent with the same font weight. So have a look at this as well, and if you get the chance, try manually changing the date in order to see if there are any differences between the numbers on the same watch. For the 10th step, I'm gonna ask you to take a look at the Rolex crown logo present on the clasp of your watch. Again, having both watches one next to another, you will see that there are definitely differences. This of course comes from the lower quality standards of the replica manufacturers. While on the Rolex genuine items, you will always see the Rolex crown very good, excellent, manufactured here on the clasp with no inconsistencies or no issues at all. For the 11th step and the final step on today's guide on the Rolex GMT-Master II, I'm gonna ask you to examine the engravings present on the clasp of your watch. So in either case that you're holding a genuine or a replica item, open the clasp and have a look at those logos engraved on the clasp, on the inner side of the clasp. Again, on the genuine item, those logos will be extremely high quality, very consistent. While on the replica items, you will always notice some differences when it comes to the engravings, to the depth of the engravings, and so on. Take a close look at those engravings present on the clasp as well, and if you have any issues, you can always come back to our guide and take a look at the images. Guys, I want to thank you once again for watching us. I hope the info is useful for you. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us. Please don't forget to like our video, subscribe to our video channel, and leave us a comment below with whatever watch model you want us to cover on our future guides. Thanks for watching the Rolex GMT-Master II guide. Today it's been a pleasure showing it off to you, and hope to see you soon again with a new guide on how to spot fake items from the genuine ones. Thank you, see you soon, have a great day.